Spring. And the bluebells are here, steeped in mythical folklore. The swell of these blue, little, magical bells trickle up and breach the base of the woods from nowhere. As fast as they flood up, they drain away. Today, the very first day of May, and in a short fortnight, they will be gone, as if summoned along by some great sorcerer. For I heard no start gun, no call to existence. Something just clicks, and the spirit resisting it all ends its shift. Twigs twitch, soil stutters before the storm, a surge of sappy, flailing forms that fight and strain towards the light. I, just like these emboldened buds, also come alive, as though this same light has a way of blasting through my body and rerouting my brain to keep me centered and sane. I picture a magician, feet in soil, head aligned with this bright sunlight, summoning this scene of mad, mythical motion. It will all too soon be shadow, as the armies of encroaching green, each regiment a different hue, march first across the moss at my feet and up the trunks around me. This month, the very last warm window for the forest floor, a time just before the Emerald Empire breaches the top of the tallest pine, stretches its legions of weighty leaves way above me, and closes the canopy. Heavy, thick branches, casting these long since withered little bells into darkness. A reminder, if you can bear it, that like these aged flowers just a month ago buds in the mud, so too you will breathe your last breath. For to live is to be in the business of death, a reality that people prefer unsaid, that all precious, fertile soil is stacked with the dead. For there is no rejuvenation without past life to feed on. It is not macabre, it is a dramatic opera, and spring its never-ending, joyful encore. It is a way to make you mad, trying too hard to understand. For to seek through science and reason, to feel through art, seems nullified by nature in this season, as though even if the most convincing conclusion were offered forthwith of any concrete meaning, it would simply offer no relief, yet offer solace out of body, comfort and wealth beyond the gates of any idea of self. To quote a few lines about nature as teacher that Wordsworth wrote, "One impulse from a vernal wood may teach you more of man, of moral evil and of good than all the sages can. Sweet is the law which nature brings, our meddling intellect misshapes the beauteous form of things we murder to dissect. And yet, with my flawed human desire, I do dissect as I return to answers in art and sketch. For as futile as it may be, my desire to bottle this idea burns in me. Hope is a fleeting thing, and never more abundant than in spring. So I explore how through the world all of humanity welcome it in, over 5,000 miles away from this rain-riddled land. It's somewhat hotter in places like Thailand, so they celebrate with a festival of water. Everyone out on the street, dancing, getting as soaked as they can, the New Year celebration of Songkran. Or in Zurich, Switzerland, where a huge fabric snowman is built, mountains of wood is stacked, and on top of this, the doomed snowman is sat, and a huge fire lit. How quick the summer will come is foretold by the speed at which the flames reach the explosives in his hat. What better way to signify the prequel of summer than a literal explosion of colour? Just how crowds gather and throw coloured pigment at each other in India. But here, it's May morning, People stay up through the night by fire and frequent rain shower to head out and hear the choir at 6 a.m. from Magdalen Tower, then watch the drumming bands, horns aplenty, and enjoy the general revelry as townfolk mingle to the merry sounds of the Morris dancing jingle. And yet, in the dark and drizzly winter months or any time of desperation, it can be hard to bear. And as much as I've tried to capture the hope of spring in my paintings here, to many the future offers nothing but stress. The woes of the world seem utterly hopeless. Nature can help in an intangible way, not to solve or to wash these fears away, for hope is there, and yet, as you seek it in an English wood, among bluebells at their peak, you strangely do not worry where. Thomas Hardy wrote about trusting in a hope you cannot see, in times when despair is all there surely must be. Permanent winter has set in your mind. Hardy penned, while cold and shivering, about hearing an old, frail bird singing. He blasted out his beruffled plume and chose to fling his soul upon the growing gloom. So little cause for carolling of such ecstatic sound was written on terrestrial things afar or nigh around, that I could think there trembled through his happy good night air some blessed hope whereof he knew, and I was unaware.